Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be doing what we normally do. We'll be fixing up my dolls by cleaning their vinyl body and we'll be brushing out their hair. But instead of doing that while reading from Am I the Asshole, we'll be reading from another subreddit. This time it's going to be from Petty Revenge. Now, I just want to put in the disclaimer, if my energy is a bit low right now. I'm sorry about that. It's because I'm not really feeling well. I'm actually not doing well mentally and physically. I'm in so much pain right now. But I figured that I need to do something to keep my mind off things so I can function and not, be so depressed. To go ahead and start fixing up my dolls. So hopefully I can do more than one in this video. Okay, while I'll read from Petty Revenge. This is going to be in random order. So the first post that I'm showing here right now is titled, I forgot to pack them. Sorry. So let's read. So I forgot to pack them. Sorry. This feels like a petty revenge to me, and I wanted to share. A few years ago, I went through a divorce. It ended because he was cheating on me and still denies it. The AP and him were married and had a baby less than a year after our divorce. So you tell me. He was also emotionally abusive. To be fair, he has a lot of mental health problems. And I hope he's doing better, just as long as I'm not around him. A few years before that though, we moved my grandmother from another state to live with us so I could care for her. My grandfather had passed about 2 years before that. One of the things he left behind was this very pretty glass mixer and shot glasses, like what you'd see at a bar to mix drinks, that had some gold decorations on it. My grandmother didn't care if she kept it, so my ex asked if he could have them. She said yes, I really like them too, and they belong to my grandfather, and that means a lot to me. I was very close to my grandfather, and his passing was very hard on all of us. Everyone loved him, even my ex loved him. Okay? Anyways, when we got divorced, he came and got a lot of his stuff. He asked me to pack some of it, so he wouldn't be in my house longer than necessary. Okay? So he then asked me to pack the mixture and glasses. At first, I said sure, but the more I thought about it, the less I wanted him to have them. They were my grandfather's. They're very fragile, and packing them would have to be done carefully, and they could still break if one wasn't careful. Alright? To be honest, I don't trust him not to break them on accident. So, I kept forgetting as I had no way to pack them properly. Inevitably, he had gotten 99% of his stuff, and it was basically understood that everything left was mine. And I never packed them. He asked me a couple of times and I made excuses. Been 4 years and they're still proudly displayed in my home. The way I see it, it's payment for what he put me through, and in my honest opinion, they were more mine than his. Petty? I think so, absolutely. But oh well, I'm content. What you did is very, very just, in my opinion. So yeah, since he put you through a lot of hell and it was your grandfather's, I believe that you should definitely keep the mixer. So you're in the right for not giving it to him. And why should you? He really galled me that you were the one he made you pack his stuff. Well, I guess it's okay since that way he wouldn't have to be in your house for longer than necessary. But yeah, since you want that glass mixer and it belonged to your grandfather, it's only right that you not give it to him. Since he did you so much wrong in the past, it's not really like a payment because honestly, I'm not going to get anything from the house. It's all mine now. Okay, since he did me so dirty, and I'm going to take everything that I could, like even something that I didn't really want, and then I'll just go ahead and sell them because that's my petty revenge. Okay, that I'm going to make sure that he's going to suffer at least materialistically. I said the right term. But I'm going to make it so hard for him, pain him in some ways to leave me. not that I want him back. I just want to make sure that, oh no, you're not just going to waltz out of our relationship unscathed. You're going to definitely suffer a bit, or as much as I can make you suffer, because what you did to me is really really wrong, and I'm going to make sure that you're going to feel the effect of it. Really got me heated up. So let's go ahead and read the next one. Next one is titled "A Car is on Fire." Some people have posted about people parking too close to them in garages, and it reminded me of this story. I think it fits here. I was at the grocery store a few years ago with my then infant, whose car seat was located in the seat behind the driver. When I got back with my groceries, some dildo had parked their car so close to mine that I could barely squeeze through, let alone manage my way with my baby's car seat. So I took down the license plate number and car info and went back into the store and asked to speak to the manager. I said I was concerned because the car had smoke coming out of its hood, but no one was around. The manager put a call out on their intercom with the car info and the apparent fire under the hood. I went back outside and watched as a woman ran out like a bat out of hell to check on her car. I asked if she was okay, and she said she thought her car was on fire. I said, "Oh, how strange. Good thing it isn't. Hey, while you're here, mind moving your car so I can get to my side? You're parked a little too close." She was apologetic and did, still faced by the announcement probably. I'd like to think that she realized later that it was probably me who put in the fake announcement. Okay, so I'm not a driver. I don't know how to drive, so I really don't know anything about parking. Yeah, at least I know enough that you should be considerate to the other drivers, to the other people parked in the parking lot. Not to be too close to their car, because you have to leave, they have to get inside their car, and if there's not enough space, so I'm sure that you don't want your car to be scratched. Okay, if they open their car door, and their door will also be damaged or scratched. But yeah, so this other driver, should have known better than to park too close to another car. I think it's good that she did that. I don't hate the fact that she lied and said that the car was on fire, instead of just saying that whoever owns this car, so and so, should go out and then move it, because some people will not feel the urgency with, okay, I'll just do it later after I finish my shopping. But if they think that their car is in danger, if it's damaged or something, or it's, in this case, if it's under fire, okay, so yeah, they'll feel more inclined to go out and get their car like moved, so that you can go out and get inside your car. So yeah, definitely, I love this. So I really like this, her technique in getting the person go out of the store and move her car. I think that this is the best way to get around doing things. Alright, so let's go ahead and read the other one. This is titled "Blast Teeny Gospel at 5 a.m. Okay, enjoy 6 hours of loud, screamy music. Pretty basic. Spent the night with a friend who just had a baby. We were all woken up by our neighbor standing outside, blasting old gospel in his yard at 5 a.m. Mama and baby went to see her mom, who can't travel, and I stayed to clean up her house for her. The entire time, I blasted stuff like Avenged Sevenfold, Black Veiled Brides, Disturbed Motionless in White, and Five Finger Death Punch. Okay, I suppose these are all heavy metal music. Okay, I'm not really familiar with that kind of music genre, but anyway, all the doors and windows wide open, so Mr. 5 a.m. Gospel Hour got no peace. He came out and glared several times but never said anything. Pretty sure I scared the hell out of him, and that's what you get for waking up a new mama in her 5-day-old baby. Okay, so I'm not overly religious. I do pray. I go to hear mass as every Sunday and all. However, I think it's very, very inconsiderate to impose your belief on someone else, especially if you're blasting gospel music at 5 a.m. Okay, I don't care what kind of music it is, even if it's just piano music or what you call this, maybe calming music. Don't play loud music at 5 a.m. or if it's nighttime or people are still resting. I think it's very inconsiderate. Like, why would you do that? Why are you such an asshole for doing that? I mean, yeah, some people would say that he's trying to spread the word of God. Some people are atheists and they don't really care about that. I'm Catholic and I do hear mass and I pray a lot. However, as I said, I'm not going to impose that on anybody. Like, yeah, I guess some people say that you should spread the word of God, but I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not the type who's going to like uh, get on a bus, talk about the word of God, this and that, and or I'm going out of my way to go from house to house to give pamphlets and stuff. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Never. Okay, I'm not going to do that. It's not my place to impose my religion on anyone and my belief on anyone else. It's already 2023, so you know where to go if you want religion. So you can go to yourself to the uh, church, or if you want, there's like the internet if you want to search up on where to go if you want to, get to hear the word of God. But yeah, I don't think it's at all necessary for people to out of their way to impose their beliefs on someone else. It's not really about gospel. It's not like the person or the original poster is upset that this person is spreading the gospel. It's disturbing the sleep of anyone else. Like, I really find it so annoying. I love my sleep and I don't want to be disturbed. So yeah, I can understand your pain, especially with a baby, a mother, you're a new parent. So I don't think that you're going to appreciate it when someone else is trying to spread the word of God when you want to just go to sleep and then rest, especially with a newborn baby. Oh my God. So anyway, so yes, so I agree with that petty revenge. So at least it's not like you went out to your neighbor's house and then try to hurt them or you try to fight with them. So yeah, so he disturbed your sleep or your peace and quiet, then go ahead and do it the same. So he can't do anything because, okay, so if he's going to complain, then you're going to say, okay, so it's okay for you to disturb me when it's 5 a.m. and I was sleeping, and then you're going to and then it's not okay for me to play heavy metal music. So no, that's not the case. So you're going to get what you shell out. All right, so let's see. Let's go on and read the next post. The next is titled Asking Me for Updates. Okay, at work last week, my boss and coworker kept asking for updates on getting a quote for our customer. I was waiting for various suppliers to reach out with information and kept replying no movement. All right. After a dozen asks between the two of them, I decided to be proactive with updating. Every 5 to 10 minutes, I would interrupt the silence and say no movement. After an hour, my boss said, okay. I responded, just keeping you both updated. I continued to update them for hours until we got the code prepared and sent off to the customer. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, I actually agree with that because their boss and this other person and the coworker is pestering him with asking for updates when they already know that it's probably going to take some time for the supplier to reply. Like, if they want to be like inconsiderate and if they keep pestering you instead of just concentrating on other stuff, so yeah, so maybe just be inconsiderate as well. Keep giving updates even though it's just the same information. Because what do they expect? If it's going to take a week, then it's going to take a week. So just tell the customer, no, it's not available yet, just wait. If you don't want to wait, then go to another vendor. Okay, go to another company. I don't have the information right now for you. Just shut up. Okay, shut up. Don't keep bothering me asking for the information. It's not available. Okay? So yeah, that's how you should handle things. It's not available, go to hell. Okay? Okay, so that's it. So let's go ahead and read the next one. She wanted help, gets this nuts instead. This story takes place 8 years ago when I was a sophomore in high school. Some background. I have always been extremely artistic and put in a lot of effort on any school project. I have won multiple competitions, and whenever the teacher needed to use someone's art project as an example, they'd often use mine. Okay? I was in no way academically gifted and scraped by most of the time in everything other than art, so I took a lot of pride in being creative, even if it was just drawing a map in history or cell examples in science. Other teens knew me as the chick who's good at art and usually left me alone, except when someone wanted me to do their work. This is one of the times with a girl named Hannah. Hannah was part of the popular crowd and would spend a good portion of class goofing around with the other kids in her group. On a few occasions, I overheard them call me OCD and a tryhard, but always brushed it as jealousy. The project we were working on was a colored pencil drawing of buildings to show linear perspective. I had drawn two buildings with an alleyway between them, leading to another street. And on the wall of the alleyway, I had drawn graffiti of random swirls that were dripping from the bottom in multiple colors. I guess Hannah had seen the graffiti and liked it because she came up to me with her paper and asked me to put graffiti on the side of one of her buildings too. I said no multiple times, but she kept asking, in saying that she wouldn't know how to draw it at that angle and that mine looked so good. Eventually I said fine and she gave me the paper and tried to walk off, but I stopped her and asked what she wanted graffitied on it. Words or a shape or something specific. But she said she didn't care, then left. After I was sitting there for a moment wishing I just hadn't agreed, I looked up online photos of graffiti thinking I would just copy a simple one and be done with it. Okay? One of the top images was just a brick wall with these nuts painted on it. And I, feeling a bit petty, decided to go with it. So on the side of her on the side of her building, in dark blue, I drew these nuts in large graffiti bubble letters, complete with a dripping bottom. Not gonna lie, it looked good, and my friends who were sitting around me thought it was hilarious when I showed them. I went to her seat to give it to her, but she was at the other table hanging out with her friends, so I just left it upside down at her spot and went back to mine. I guess she went back to her seat and saw it, because the next thing I knew, our teacher came over to my seat with Hannah in tow. She asked if I had drawn the graffiti, and when I said I did, she asked why. I explained what happened, that Hannah asked for graffiti, and when I asked what she wanted, she said she didn't care. So I went online and saw the These Nuts photos and went with that. She asked why I specifically wrote these nuts, and I got out my phone to show her the image I found online, and that it's not a swear word, so I thought it would be fine. And I specifically asked what she wanted it to say, but she didn't care. Anna didn't say anything, just stood there looking shocked, while our teacher looked both amused and disappointed, but eventually just said okay and went back to her desk with Hannah. They talked a little before Hannah went back to where her friends were sitting, not looking my way for the rest of the class. Period. Nothing really came from this other than Hannah purposely ignoring me in any class we had, and some of her girlfriends giving me the side eye whenever they were near me. Okay, so I really like this. So it's not like, I don't know why it would be petty revenge because it's such a simple thing to do. I really think that some people have all the nerve asking favors from people that they have wronged in the past. Like, okay, so I guess this is petty revenge. So Yeah, so they wouldn't be subjected to petty revenge if they just kept their distance, because these people are so stupid. I mean, you know that you were doing this, and this person is aware that you were um, doing something behind your back. You were not treating them the best. So why would you go out of your way to approach this person for a favor? So what were you expecting? That push over, that you're just going to like do what you want and then to hell with everything? So yeah, so you got what you want, you deserved. So you wanted graffiti, so she gave you graffiti, and she was even nice enough to ask what kind of graffiti you wanted, and you said you didn't care. So if you say that to someone that you don't really care what they do, then you're going to get whatever. Just going to get a random. If it's something that you don't like, then that's your fault, because she gave you a chance. She asked you if what you wanted, and then you said you didn't care. So why are you complaining right now? Since you didn't care, right? So anyway, so let's go ahead and move on. This is going to be the last one for this video. Okay. Cheater loses her toy privileges. I've been waiting a while to remember a good PR or petty revenge or MC story to post. Finally remembered one. Compliments of all the breakup and divorce stories recently. This one got a bit longer than I intended, so TLDR at the bottom. Okay. Backstory. My ex-wife was a special kind of lady with that almost unbelievable type of crazy you only see in movies. There was a matching crazy sex drive with it though. I had caught her cheating multiple times over the few years we were married. Okay. As well as doing some pretty hard substance drugs while I traveled for work. And she stayed at home to watch her two kids from a previous marriage and her child. I choose to believe that I'll change up too many times foolishly. Mostly because her older two were like my own. Their father had passed from cancer when they were still young. And also because she had my child and I didn't want her growing up in a broken home like I did. Opportunity presented itself for a fresh start with a relocation far away from the rat hole she grew up in with all her connections and bad habits of her past. We agreed to move the family there for a nice promotion and to give her a chance to get in a new environment and work towards change. She didn't. Fast forward a year, and much is still the same as it was. She had taken up redoing furniture to try and sell it instead of getting a real job, which meant spending a lot of time making runs to the local store that resold the donated innards of houses that were being remodeled. There she met, let's call him Javier. Okay. She even introduced me to him on one of the visits as the helpful associate who always helps her load up the heaviest stuff she bought into her truck. Needless to say, my slimy sense was tingling. At this point, I had this gut feeling every time she finds someone new that she was going to eventually cheat on me with. She was mid-30s and afraid to get old and undesirable, so she would pick up guys about 10 years younger so she could still think she had it. Javier fit the bill, and also oddly looked similar to her deceased husband. Roll forward another 3 months and the arguing was getting too much for me. She also started insinuating that she would like to CPS that I was touching her children, so I would never see my daughter again, or purposely inflict harm on herself and threatening to say it was me. By this time, I was smart enough to start secretly video recording this stuff with my phone so I could avoid major issues down the road. It ultimately saved me and won me full custody in the divorce, but that's for another time. Okay. A week later, we fought just prior to Thanksgiving. Not only one of my favorite holidays, but we were all completely alone in terms of family, except each other. She started the fight as a way to go spend it with Javier's family. I wasn't aware anything had started on that front yet. Her oldest kids were accustomed to these crazy acts by now, and she didn't fear them. My daughter was only 2. A couple days later, I found out after spending a lonesome Thanksgiving with my hungry man their turkey dinner what really happened. The fight was huge. I was done, and she knew she had gone too far. I was filing for divorce on Monday. It was Saturday, and she was able to take one of my texts I sent after she pulled over a four-lane busy road with our youngest so she could kick me out and walk 5 miles home and convince a police officer to arrest me to get me out of the house for the night. Our city has 24/7 judges though, and I was out by noon on Sunday on a $100 bail as it was a nothing charge. She thought I was gone till Monday at minimum. I didn't call home, just took an Uber. I showed up and lo and behold, Javier had come to spend the night. At this point, it was laughable and I knew she was capable of, so I video recorded before I even entered the house. He left, then I left as the kids had school coming Monday. Monday, I filed for divorce, and Tuesday, I appear in court for my initial hearing for the arrest over the weekend. She requested a temporary restraining order on me at the hearing, and the court grants it until the real trial. I was forced out of my home and also forced to keep paying all the bills, except food, while the divorce went on. Lawyer's advice. I was given 6 hours on Wednesday by the court to get as much of my stuff out of the house as I could. I was leaving that same day for a multi-week out-of-town job too, so I couldn't really take a lot. Anything I left behind was at risk of never getting again. Now I definitely needed workloads and some street clothes, but I could maybe only take 2 to 3 suitcases of things at best. Cue the petty revenge. Okay, so finally, the revenge. Over the 4 years we had dated, been married, we had accumulated quite a large collection of fun adult toys, somewhere in the ballpark of 3,000 to 4,000, and most of it was kept in a big trunk that looked like a magician's case. Okay, well that stuff was mine just as much as it was hers. I have bought it all for her, and she loved the stuff, with or without others' involvement. She kept her favorites hidden in different places through, though, like her closet inside the shoe rack. It was strange. I packed what I really wanted in about an hour and a half, then spent the next 2 hours searching for all her hidden favorites. I cleaned that place out, if anything explicit, and tossed it all in the large trunk. I left with time to spare and the bed of my truck loaded with my work gear and some suitcases in her special trunk. I drove about 4 or 5 hours to get to the motel of the job I was going on, and after I checked in, I saw the big green dumpster back in the corner. I pulled my truck around, backed up, and hoisted the 8-pound monster into the bin and smiled. It wasn't a lot, but it felt really good to have gotten at least one leg up on her, as I knew she would be furious to not have anything to help her distress from her life about to be falling apart. Okay, TLDR, wife cheats on one too many, has me arrested on false charges and kicks me out of my house. I take our giant collection of adult toys and drive them 5 hours away to a hotel for a job and toss them in the dumpster. Okay, bonus side notes. The case was eventually dropped against me, and when she wrote a letter to the DA stating I was fine and she wasn't afraid of me. That's the only way they dropped it, so she could get my help with the kids as she struggled to find work. I wasn't going to violate the TRO for any reason. I ultimately won full custody of my daughter as well when all was said and done. I had so many more stories from this terrible marriage if you guys like the above. Okay, well, good. I was afraid that it was going to be a violent, petty revenge, but yeah. The moral of this story is be careful with the people that you associate with, especially if you're going to marry them or if you're going to have a relationship with them, because it sounds to me like this person, well, probably she wasn't like this at the start, okay, but she sounds like a dreadful person, a drug addict, a sex addict, a whore, a slut. So anyway, a very, very damaged person. So if I were you, I don't know, did you see any red flags when you were still starting your relationship with her? Because it sounds to me like she's really someone with a lot of baggage. I'm just glad that you're out of that relationship. So if you're still inclined, so you could find another partner who's better than her. Okay, it sounds like anyone will be better than her because she's like a whore. Okay, but anyway, so that's it. I hope that you like this video and stay tuned for more videos to come. That's all for now. Bye bye.